I suppose years of reading and learning and self-reflection. You can just start self-reflecting. If you start doing it, then you just naturally do it. Do you know what I mean? You just need to go one day, say, I don't know, you've had a big blow up with your partner. Instead of going, rah, I have all the feels, you can sit back and go, now I wonder why, oh, that was happening, wasn't it? So maybe that, so then this, so that, and just work out the chain of events.
So you've kind of taught yourself to go, right, let's stop, take a breath before I go in for this big row.
Stop, arm yourself properly,
yes, gather all
and go
weapons.
in with notes.
Welcome to Curious Chats and Kind Acts, the podcast that celebrates difference, kindness, and the little things we can all do to make our world a better place. Join me, your host, Sonia, co-founder of the Axe Charity, for some open, authentic and fun conversations with lots of interesting, extraordinary, everyday people who are all a little bit different. Prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your heart warmed as we explore the ways we can all make a difference in the world, no matter how small. So get ready to be inspired, uplifted and motivated to be the kindest version of yourself. Let's make the world a kinder place, one conversation at a time.
Hello, how are you today? And what a treat we have in store for you. Laurie was my long COVID rehab person and we have since become friends. She's a proper good egg. We discussed long COVID, how debilitating it can be, and how we can help ourselves by making changes to our lifestyles to help combat the dreaded fatigue. Laurie is such a positive person. She shares her lovely ideas around giving and receiving light and how she is happy with being content. A good 7 out of 10 suits her. She's a busy mum with 5 kids. She's somewhere like 8th on the list of priorities. And we talk honestly about how to remain positive and the importance of self-kindness when your child has severe depression. Laurie's top tip is just don't be a dickhead. And in producer Jonah's words, Laurie may be my favourite person. High praise indeed. Let me know if you agree. So hello Laurie, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Who are you?
I'm Laurie and I am a PT and a long COVID rehab PT. I also run a business with my husband doing bespoke timber windows and fairly busy as a mum of 5.
Fairly busy is a bit of an understatement. It's like when we talked about doing the podcast, she's like, get back to me in August, and this was like, I don't know, May.
I know, it makes me sound really obnoxious, but it's like, no, it needs to go in the book. I'm sorry, something will happen, and even then I might need to cancel. Somebody's head will fall off, or, somebody will forget that they're supposed to be at a swimming competition or something, and I'll get completely waylaid. So I'd say 8th on the list of priorities after the dog.
In terms of your priorities?
In terms of just everything I need to get done.
So who's above that then? Obviously the 5 kids.
The husband.
The husband's above you?
Well, of a fashion, because he is like a child.
He's your 6th kid.
Yeah. And we have spoken, my husband and I have spoken, well, I've mostly done the speaking, quite a lot lately about weaponised incompetence.
Do the kids accuse me of that? Explain what it is.
It's when you deliberately do something really badly, so you're never ever asked to do it again. Such as loading the dishwasher or any of the menial tasks generally. So there's been some chat about that, and also the emotional labour. That
is especially being like juggling the kids and like, do you find that they'll want that deep, meaningful chat about 11 p.m. at night? You're done. You're just winding down.
It's the 6:30 wake-up call with the youngest lad. He's in bed at 6:30. My tummy hurts. It doesn't hurt, darling. You're just hungry. Like, sneak downstairs and steal food like a normal child, please. And leave me alone.
Don't bother me.
Yeah, so we have a new rule that you're not allowed to bother mummy unless you see a 7 as the first digit.
Unless you see a 7?
Yeah, because I don't want to see a 6. When I open my eyes and I look at the time, I don't want to see a 6.
I like that.
And then, obviously, the teenagers at the other end of the day, I'll be in bed you know, snuggled up 10:30 if I've been raging. And the oldest girl will get into bed and decide to tell me all of her thoughts for the day. And you just think, oh, please. I love that they want to be with me, but I'd like to be with them a little less sometimes.
Yeah. So wait there, so you've got the 5 kids and the husband. What are your other 2 before you?
Well,
Priorities. The dog, okay.
So that's 7.
Yeah.
It wasn't the children that almost did me in, it was the dog.
Really?
Yeah, the dog is the hardest. He barks a lot. And so I find the extra sensory input hard going.
So is this your first dog then?
Yeah.
How old's the dog now? What's the dog called?
The dog is Dexter. He's Dexy the Daxy. He's a sausage dog. He's quite vocal, as is the breed. He's 4, I think. I've never ever had a dog.
They are a big commitment, aren't they?
They are a big commitment, but I was worn down by my eldest child.
Who never walks him now.
Who never walks him. Well, no, to be honest, she's fantastic with him. He is like an emotional support dog. Absolutely. So we got him for her. But my husband grew up on a farm in New Zealand with working dogs. So he's about as opposite in his treatment of the dog as my daughter could be. You know, Dexter's in my eldest's bed. She's, you know, snuggling him. She carries him like a baby. She cradles him. Whereas Tim won't even allow him on the couch unless he's invited. Thinks the dogs shouldn't even be indoors. They should be earning their keep. You shouldn't feed them. They should have to catch things or throw them the scraps. So it's a balance.
It is a balance. So what do you do for you?
I run. I love Olympic lifting. I crochet.
And how do you get enough time to do that?
No, I'd like to train more. It depends. It ebbs and flows. It depends what's on as well. So I've got a half marathon in October. So running is taken over a bit. But then I'm contemplating doing a high rocks after that. So more sort of HIIT training will probably take over. And on the days where I'm supposed to be resting, I sit on the couch and crochet.
So that's quite a good balance then. You're still getting time for you. Because there's certainly been periods where there just hasn't been. And you drop down. And the things that you need to do for self-care and self-kindness just kind of slip away a little bit.
I think self-care ebbs and flows as well. It looks different at different times depending on what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. For example.
So, if you're exhausted, you might need to go to bed early. You know, clean sheets, nice bath, snuggle up, that kind of thing. But if you're exhausted because, like, a toddler has talked your brain off all day, what you might need to do is stay up late so you've got 2 hours on your own.
Yeah.
Which is the complete opposite. There's different kinds of tired, I think, and different forms of self-care because of that.
Yeah, no, I like that. And actually you need a self-awareness to know what kind of stuff. Yeah. Right, let's get into you. So tell us about growing up. What did little Laurie look like?
Pretty much the same as I do now. I was certainly the same height. Yeah, I didn't grow much. I grew up in South Wales mining valley. So in the Rhondda Fawr, which was one of the main coal export valleys, fueled all the ships in World War One, all that kind of thing. But in the shadow of Thatcher basically destroying society. So lots of poverty, lots of deprivation. The miners' strike in the early 80s, you know, vivid in the minds of certainly parents, but not so much my peers, but a year or two older. Lots of people still remember.
So were your parents involved in mining?
So my grandparents, both my granddads were miners. My great-granddad actually moved my mum's side of the family. My great-granddad actually moved the family from Machynlleth down to the valleys to get a job in the pit. And unfortunately had a horrible accident and one of the trams rolled over his leg and took it clean off. Oh. Yeah. So he moved the family down there, and they still ended up, not finding their fortune because he got injured in the pits. But my dad's dad was a miner quite late in, sort of into the 50s, 60s.
Which is old for mining, isn't it?
Yeah, and he didn't have the best time. He was a miner and then thought, bugger this is a horrible, dirty, nasty job. I know, I'll go to war. Joined the armed forces. He fought in Vietnam, fought in Korea. And then when he got back, ended up being a roofer. So he and my dad put the roof on the Royal Mint in Llantrisant.
Okay.
Yeah. And very sadly died of asbestosis and associated lung complications from years of breathing in all the nasty stuff that sort of all the working class men down in the valleys doing those sorts of jobs do, pretty standard.
And so is your dad a roofer then?
He was. My dad's actually now a tennis coach.
Oh, okay.
A hugely successful one, actually. Works at the NTC. I suppose hugely successful in the sense that he loves what he does and he's good at it. So he's not like fabulously wealthy on the tennis tour or anything like that. He's, based in West London and loves what he does and is really happy.
So when you're around in the miner strikes, what do you remember about that?
I don't remember too much because I was born late in 81. So that winter it was all kicking off. I was 3. But it's, it was part of day-to-day conversation, and kids my age, we grew up on the knees of granddads telling stories about World War II and stuff. And I remember once saying to my gran, why don't we have milk anymore at school? And her saying, oh, you have to ask Maggie Thatcher about that. It was a very politicised environment, but not in a way that you'd even necessarily notice. So I'd say I'm quite political as a result of growing up, in an impoverished area, still is. It still has terrible health outcomes, which really interests me now because of what I've gone into as a job. Health disparities is kind of one of the things that hurt me and annoy me, but also interest me the most. So my peers in the Rhondda, people I grew up with, a lot have nowhere near the health outcomes I have, purely because they chose to stay and I moved away.
It's mad that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so so you're younger, you've got the issues with the mines, school, okay, moving through school.
Loathed school.
Okay.
Loathed school. I didn't think I was weird, but everybody else did.
Why did they think you were weird?
I have no idea. I think they were just exceptionally mean. But I was fairly odd. I mean, I played saxophone. I loved jazz, which is not your average 14-year-old in the Rhondda, is it? Really?
Fair enough.
Very much feel like I survived down there till I was 16 and then went to London town.
So you left at 16?
Yeah, I was fortunate that my dad lived in London.
Oh, so your parents weren't together, right? Okay.
Never ever have known my parents to be together.
Okay.
I think I was about 18 months or something like that when they split. So I moved in with Dad. I just thought, what's the worst that can happen,
Great you had that option, actually.
Yeah, it was a great way out. And, I think that's where, for some of my peers down there, like, when you think about coming to a crossroads, I went that way and they went that way. Because I had an out.
And have you got any siblings?
I have a brother. So my mum went on to have another relationship and had my brother, but he is 8 years younger than me.
And is he still in Rhondda?
No, so he was in the valleys off and on. He went to uni in Newport, but, based in South Wales, still quite old. Probably really wrong now, but I'm going to say like 25. And then thought, sod it. And sort of up and left and went to Canada and did a ski season in Canada, or maybe a couple of seasons actually. Met a girl that he loved and followed her to Australia.
That's quite cool, though, that he had the confidence to up and go. And do you think some of that was because you'd gone? It was like, well, that's doable. Like, what stopped those other people? They didn't have an out, but actually they could have gone to Canada and done some skiing.
I think uni was the turning point for him.
Yeah.
And I think it just opened his eyes to not really wanting to be in the Rhondda. You either love it there or you don't, I think. You're either a person that wants to go explore or a person that's possibly happy to explore but then come home to your nice, friendly, close-knit valleys, you know, Miners Terrace.
Do you know what? I envy those people sometimes because I'm the explorer. I've moved away and I've travelled and I've done loads of jobs. But I always go back to my mate Kelly from hockey, who same village, or same place she grew up in, and she's one of the happiest humans I know. Like, she does a 2 weeks abroad holiday. She goes down to Devon for a week, goes out for as a takeaway every Friday night, out for dinner on Sunday. But she's dead happy, and you're like, great. If that makes you happy, you don't need to go off and explore.
Yeah.
Then
I think if you chase, there's this notion, and I think social media feeds into it, that you're supposed to be wildly happy and have wild adventures. And actually, if you're content, that's probably the happiest you'll ever be, is just content.
Yeah.
Like a bang average 7 out of 10 is probably where you're happiest.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting there. I am learning that. And it's like, I'm doing less and less mad ideas of, oh, let's buy a chapel, let's start a charity. But then here we are doing a podcast. So I've still got a bit to learn.
Yeah, how's that pacing diary?
Oh, God, yeah. So anyway, so you left at 16. What did you do?
I went and did my A-levels in London. And then I went to uni in Leeds. And then I came back to London.
What did you study?
I studied jazz.
You were letting that one slide.
I am actually, well, it was my maiden name on my certificate, but I am Laurie Neal, BA Honours Jazz Studies.
Wow. And how's that coming?
Haven't picked up my saxophone since I was pregnant with my now 14-year-old. Because playing a sax and having sleeping babies are sort of mutually exclusive. You don't really do them together. You can't play when they're awake because they need you, and you can't play when they're asleep because why would you play such a loud instrument when they're asleep? But that's fine. I'm still really into music and stuff. I just haven't played.
And did you do concerts and that, or?
Gigs. I wouldn't say concerts.
Gigs. Trendy.
Yeah. I, played in a few function bands and bits like that. I went straight into teaching when I finished uni. And so we did some quite big gigs, like concerts for the kids. So I helped run the jazz band there. I helped run the wind band. Didn't do the orchestra because you don't have a saxophone in an orchestra.
Oh, don't you?
No, not typically. So yeah, had a few years of doing that and had lots of fun.
So you were teaching as in?
Instrumental lessons.
Like one-to-one or as part of a school or?
So my technical term was peripatetic.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Fancy word for saying based in loads of schools.
Right.
So I've never really had a job, where I turn up in a place and I do 9 to 5 and I go home. Even when I worked for the music service delivering lessons, I was completely in charge of my own schedule. It was up to me to kind of sign people up and keep people on. If you're a rubbish teacher or you're really mean and loads of kids quit, then you lose your hours. So though I was employed, it was kind of self-employed. Because it was hourly.
I'm sensing that has continued throughout your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so what about social stuff here? Are you into sport at this point?
Yeah, very much so. Played a lot of tennis.
Obviously. Were you good at it?
I'm all right. I could be better. I did my first year of teaching cycling with a saxophone, a flute and a clarinet on my back. I used to cycle over 100 miles a week around the various schools in West London. So I was fairly fit, yeah.
You're at uni and you've finished your degree, you're teaching.
Yep.
What's going on socially? You're playing tennis? Relationship at this point? Are we...
Yes, so I met Tim when I was 18.
Oh, okay.
The summer I was going off to uni. And it was ever so romantic because for those that are familiar with West London, there was a famous pub called the Redback in Acton. And it's where all the Antipodeans would come over, work there for 2 years on their working visa, and then go home with cirrhosis or, various sleep deprivation and things. It was a party pub, so it would kick off around the time the other pubs kicked out. So I was working in a pub in Chiswick and met this guy. This guy came in one night and I thought, oh, you've got quite nice eyes, quite like you. So when I finished my shift in the pub, I bought myself a drink and I went over to Tim and said, you don't have to buy me a drink. I've bought my own drink, but you do have to talk to me while I drink it.
Quite like that. What did he say?
He went, oh, all right then. And I think he was a bit intimidated, and that has been the tone of our relationship for the last 24 years.
I love it. So did he then invite you out on a date, or was it like, no?
No, so that was on a Wednesday night, and I remember it was a Wednesday because I then had to hot-foot it, a bit half-cut, on the bus down to the jam session. So I used to run a jam session in a pub in Twickenham. So I hot-footed it on the bus down to the jam session, apologised to my dad, I'm sorry I'm late, I've just met this great guy. And the jam was always on a Wednesday night, so it must have been a Wednesday. Well, kind of a week on Friday or Saturday later, whatever, 10 days later, he hadn't come back to the pub, hadn't heard from him or anything. So I basically hunted him down.
How did you hunt him down back then?
So my pub, the Barley Mow in Chiswick, kicked out at 11. We'd clean up, we'd be done 11:20. We would then all jump in a taxi or on the bus up to the pub where Tim worked, to the Redback Tavern, which would then party on until, say, 2 a.m, I think was stop tap. So we all rolled up to the Redback Tavern and, just sort of tapped him on the shoulder and went, oi, what are you doing?
So were you expecting him to come in and see you in those 9-10 days?
I think it would have been nice, wouldn't it? It would have been nice. But,
why did he say he's not?
I think he's just a bit of a divvy. He's a very laid-back Kiwi, typical kind of chill guy, Antipodean. And I think, at the time he said, oh, well, I just didn't think that, a hottie like you would fancy a guy like me. And I was like, dude, you work in the Redback, party time. So I had met him the summer before I was going off to uni, and I thought, hot guy, lives above the pub, never have to worry about a taxi home, free drinks. This is going to be a summer of fun. I'm going to have the best time before uni. It's going to be awesome. And then we kind of fell in love, and that was that, really.
So did he stay in London whilst you went off to Leeds?
So he stayed in London while I did my first year of uni, and then his visa ran out in the May, and he had to go back to New Zealand because he'd come over on his 2-year working visa. And in July, I went out to New Zealand to see him, and we caught he's a South Islander. We caught the ferry over to Wellington to go to the consulate to try and sort out his right to remain, indefinite leave to remain, because his mum is from Manchester.
Okay.
But we had to go into the consulate and plead our case because his mum had sailed over when she was 14 and sailed over with her mum and her stepdad, who weren't married. But magically, somehow, Tim's mum's surname changed. She got on the boat as one name and got off the boat as another name. And we basically had to go to the consulate and try and beg them to believe us. So, because her birth certificate and her marriage certificate were different maiden names. And they believed us and they stamped his passport and he came back.
I thought you were going to have to get married.
No. Well, that's the reason I was happy to marry him, because I didn't need to. He didn't need me to stay in the UK. So he obviously wanted to.
So who proposed to who, first of all? Did he actually?
He proposed to me, yeah.
Was there any gentle nudging?
There might have been some coercion. He proposed to me actually in a very romantic hotel with a 4-poster bed in York.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And then we went off to Fiji and got married barefoot in Fiji.
Oh, nice. With no one else? Anyone else there?
No, so the pool boy was the best man and the chambermaid was the maid of honour.
Did you have a party or anything when you got back?
No.
Just never felt the need.
No.
Why?
Just, I don't know, I just never felt the need.
How many years had you been together at this point?
So we met when I was 18 and we got married 2 days after my 23rd birthday.
Okay, so you'd been together a while. Everyone was used to you being together, and
Yeah.
I don't know. What I quite liked. We didn't have many at our wedding, but it gave people the chance to celebrate with you, like celebrate the relationship, and like the speeches people said stuff that you never ever get a chance to say at any other time. But I guess.
Well, by that token then, whose family would I choose, mine or his? Because I couldn't fly all of his to Wales and I couldn't fly all of mine to NZ. So it seemed unfair picking. And also, my mum and dad, though they had been broken up for 20 odd years at that point, I didn't really want them in the same room. Chose to get married in Fiji to avoid that. Yeah, we got up, had an omelette, went snorkeling, got married.
What are you doing today? I got married. Fair enough. So then you back home. Where are you living now?
So we're in West London, not far from Kew Bridge.
So after he came back from New Zealand, you were in Leeds and he was back in West.
I still had to finish my second and third year. So he moved in with me. We got our own flat in Leeds and finished up uni, moved back to London. But at that point I did say to him, I've got no ties. I finished uni, don't have a job, don't really know what I'm doing. Let's go to New Zealand. And he said, no, I'm happy to be here. So we opted to move back to London and I stayed with my dad for a little bit. He actually stayed with my friend who was the landlady of the Barley Mow, the pub where we'd met. So he stayed there for a bit and then we managed to get our first flat and then saved up a bit and managed to buy our first flat. So while we were in Fiji getting married, all the conveyancing was done. So we came home to a new flat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then a few years later, the first baby.
So you were still in London when you had
child
number one?
So baby number one is a Londoner. Moved up north when she was about 18 months and I was pregnant with number two.
So why did you move up north?
So weirdly, we live in a tiny town. Tim's really good mate from high school lives in another tiny town 10 minutes from our house, weirdly. And his friend had lived up on Wirral for years and we'd visited, we'd come up periodically to spend the weekend with them. And we were just fed up of our London flat. And we sort of sat down and said, well, when we go visit our friends on Wirral, like we always have such a lovely time, why don't we just move there? So we did.
Fair enough.
It was as simple as that. We've always liked it when we visited, so we'll just move there.
Great. And did you move to Parkgate straight away?
No, so we rented a place in Neston for about a year and a half, something like that. Then bought a house kind of opposite, the street behind, but kind of opposite where we'd been renting. Gutted that. Lived in that one for 18 months while we were gutting it. Made enough money to be able to buy the house that we were in Parkgate, which we've been in 10 years and we are also gutting that room by room. So
it took a bit longer, this one, though.
Yeah, slightly bigger house, but slightly more kids. So
at this point, you're banging out your kids now, aren't you?
Pretty much. So the reason that house took 18 months is because I had the middle child.
Okay.
So we had said we want to be in it, done, outsold in a year, but we added 6 months because I had a baby. And then moved into our place in Parkgate and ended up having twins as our last shout.
Was it planned? Well, you can't really plan twins, but did you want to keep going, having more kids?
Yeah. I absolutely was planned pregnancy, but like you say, we got a Brucey bonus. Yeah, so Quite lively that day, finding out.
Yeah. Yeah, and how is twins? Is it, like, it's got to be so much harder. Like, how do you feed them both at the same time?
So when I had the scan and we found out it was twins, the first thing I said, so I was on my own, I just sat there and said to the midwife, how am I going to feed them? I hate feeding rugby ball style. And she turned to me and sort of went, you've just been told you're having twins. Is that all you're worried about? I was like, well, yeah. What else would you worry about? Duh. That was, in my shock, that was the first thing I came out with.
And it is. So what do? Do you just have to do them in shifts?
No, I tried to do them both at the same time as much as I could, because otherwise you're just sitting down for 23 hours a day. So yeah, I fed them like tandem as much as I could. But they were only exclusively breastfed for about 8 weeks, something like that. And then we sort of did mixed for a bit, and by 3 months they were just on bottles. Felt like I'd done my bit by that point.
Token effort. That's plenty.
Yeah, you've had enough. You've got the antibodies.
Yeah.
You've had your immune system.
Yeah. Fab. And throughout this pretty cool life I'm hearing, has there been any standout acts of kindness that have happened?
Ooh, receiving of kindness or giving of kindness. I don't know. I suppose the biggest act of kindness was the man behind the glass in Wellington in the consulate going, yeah, go on then, and stamping the passport, because none of this would be this if it weren't for him.
Yeah.
He just believed us, because quite a lot of Brits sort of changed their names or amended their life stories on those boats over. So I would say thank you to him. That was an act of kindness for sure.
Definitely. And what about that you've done? Have there been any significant times where you thought, I need to help that person?
I don't know. I try to be kind, or I try to be good every single day. So I'm not sure that I don't ever think of myself as having done big things or whatever. When we were in London, between uni, sort of around the time we were getting married, every Christmas we'd go and do crisis. And nobody liked doing the night shift, because basically you're in this massive unused building in central London with, 200 farting, sleeping, homeless men, that you have to just make sure they don't burn down the building, falling asleep with a cigarette in their mouth or something like that. And so every Christmas we would go for 7 nights straight and make sure that the homeless shelter was manned properly so that everyone could have a warm, safe Christmas.
And so there were 200 men in one room?
Something like, it depended entirely. So Crisis every year would take over an empty building somewhere in central London. So it depends. If it was a warehouse, you could have 200 in a room. If it was old office block,
Where did they go to the loo?
Well, judging by some of the smells, I'm not sure. So we've just had to sort of keep them safe.
Blimey. That's quite a big ask. Did you feed them as well, or was it literally just somewhere to sleep?
I'd come on in the night shift, so I would, dinner would be done by then. But people used to love doing Christmas morning, giving out the lunches, because they'd always be on TV.
Okay.
And the true helpers were the ones that came at night and made sure the ones that had been in car accidents and that had fits didn't swallow their tongue, or the ones with mental health issues didn't throw themselves off the top floor. Or
And how did you get into that?
My dad actually did it a couple of Christmases before, and I just thought, yeah, that's a good thing to do, I'm going to do that. So we did that for a couple of Christmases.
And so they just have a space for a week over the Christmas period?
Yeah. So I think the earliest that they could get in, it was only men, there were no women. The earliest that they could get in, I think, was Christmas Eve morning. So they would be fed. There was an opportunity to, get a shower or clean up a bit, kind of thing. And yeah, somewhere safe and warm to sleep.
It's mad that, isn't it? And does that still happen?
I believe so. Crisis is still going strong. So, I mean, given how the government have run things, I should imagine the need for shelters has increased. Yeah.
Okay, so we are coming up to date now. So how did you go from teaching kids jazz to
I didn't teach them jazz, that's
sorry,
for sure.
saxophone to what you do now, which is quite different.
It is and it isn't. It's all still teaching, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's all still empowering people, and it's all still making them feel good. The teacher's role is to give you knowledge, but it's also to give you the confidence to use what knowledge you have.
But there's still some knowledge that you need.
Yeah, there is some knowledge that I need. So, yeah, I'm on Wirral. I have many children, and running a bespoke timber window company is like pretty boring. I'm hugely into the gym. I've discovered a love of running by this point, so I think, I know, I'll just requalify. So I did. Because when you've got twins, what else would you do but study?
Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is your window.
Yeah, so I requalified and applied for a job at Nuffield. It was the first job I applied for, and I got it.
Oh.
And I do some like personal PT stuff, private PT stuff around that as well. So yeah, it's a bit more me focused because I've spent so much time focused on the family and the family's needs. So now I do something that I really do love. So makes it less of a job.
And when you say you're really into running at this point, what kind of stuff are you doing running wise at this point?
The London Marathon. So I've done the marathon twice. Well, I did the virtual one and I did the real life one. I did an ultra this spring. I'm going to do...
And what's an ultra?
Anything over a marathon. Typically they start at 32 miles. This one was 32 miles. But I was so grumpy because I had to tap out at mile 25.
Oh, why?
The weather was so horrific that I was trying to calculate that if I took off my jacket and put my foil underneath my jacket and my jacket back on top, would that make me colder or warmer? Because my t-shirt would get wet in the driving rain as I was trying to get the foil under my jacket. Or should I put the foil on top of my waterproof that is now given out because the rain has been so biblical for the last 2 hours? And I'm on this ridgeline overlooking the Welsh coast thinking, you're just mad. What are you doing? And I was there with one of my oldest friends because the run goes past her house. And we just looked at each other. I said, 2 hours ago, we were having a right laugh. We were chatting and eating Frutella, and now both of us are silent and shivering. She was like, yeah, should we just sack this off and go for a curry? I was like, yeah.
It's good that you could make that decision, though, because I can imagine that had been quite difficult.
It was horrendous. It had rained so badly. We were going through these fields and you just couldn't get purchase. You couldn't get proper footing. And so my feet were twisting every which way, which was hurting my knees. And I was shivering so badly, it was hurting my hips. And I just thought, nah, this isn't fun anymore.
And so you want to redo an ultra now, I'm guessing?
There's a new one. That's just been announced, and conveniently it goes past my house.
Oh, okay.
It's a loop of Wirral, and so I've done at least half of that run in my marathon training, and that's in November, so I'm going to do that.
And how is that 32 miles?
Yep. All completely flat though.
I was going to say, Wirral's flat, isn't it?
Yeah, so... exactly. So the last one I did, it was over 3,000 feet of ascent, which is a bit tasty, because we started in the harbour at the yacht club and just went, near vertical up this ridgeline. Horrible. But this one's really flat. But before that, I've got the Cardiff Half Marathon the first weekend of October.
And how do you find time to train? Because I know when Joy did her marathon, like your long runs are hours and hours.
I know, it's awesome. Like, I'm so sorry, darling, but I have to leave you with the children for 4 hours. Bye.
And if you could unload the dishwasher, that'd be great.
Yeah. Make sure that the washing's done when I'm back. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, some people like to go to the pub. Some people, well, I go to the gym, so I can't use that example. Some people walk the dog or like to sit in a corner and read. With that hour that people are doing those hobbies, I'm out doing a quick few miles.
Yeah. So talk to me about the long COVID job, because obviously that's how we met. So you've been doing it quite a few years then. I mean, long COVID's not been around that long. How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I actually predated it.
Yes.
I invented long
I knew
COVID
it
so
was
that I'd
coming,
have a
so I
job. So I started the long COVID job probably 2 years ago now. Maybe a bit more. It's got to be more than that. 2 and a bit, 3. But yeah, I applied for a job at Nuffield just as a PT, but doing shift work, running the classes, that kind of thing. And the opportunity to do the additional training for long COVID came up, and I jumped at it because I love training people. Absolutely love being a PT. I really am not interested when people have not aesthetic goals. I don't want to minimise the impact that can have on your mental health, but a youngish girl comes to me and says, I want massive glutes. I just think, ugh, boring. If somebody comes to me and says, like, I've had a whole new hip, my knee is shattered, I could barely walk, I want to run 5k, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So it's the putting back together of the broken people that I really enjoy.
Fair enough. And so what kind of people are coming through with long COVID? Because the first stuff I went through was all older people that could barely walk up the stairs. Mm-hmm. So to get them in a gym in the first place is a miracle. Is that the main kind of people you're getting through?
I've really, really seen the demographic change. In all the cohorts that I've done, it's really changed. What has shocked me is that I've got people almost half my age now. So, in the cohort I have currently, I think there are 3 20-something year olds.
Really?
Yeah. There's someone sort of early 30s. It's a very different picture. Like you say, previously it's been, 58, 62. You don't really get people sort of into their 70s and 80s necessarily, but 50s, 60s largely. Now it seems to be 20s, 30s. It's almost like COVID has started to attack people differently.
And so these are people that have had COVID more recently and are getting the long COVID impact, because I had it years ago before I came to you. Mm-hmm. Is it more that people are getting COVID now and the long COVID?
Seems to be the 2, 3, 4 infections. So people have had it 3, 4 years ago, didn't really bother them that much at the time, had a second infection of it, some issues, third infection, absolutely flawed. And the symptoms, the range of symptoms I'm dealing with are very different. Far less breathlessness.
So what kind of stuff are people kind of having
Far
now?
more gastro symptoms, a lot of heart rate issues, tons of anxiety. The breathlessness seems to be far less.
That's interesting.
There's been a research paper, it was published in Nature, April this year. The study has actually found specific markers that are raised, so specific inflammation markers in the blood are raised, and they have been able to match which marker causes which symptoms, and they found a correlation between gut and mental health, all sorts. Really, really interesting study. So I don't know whether treatment is going to go down that road, almost like autoimmune therapy type stuff.
And so has your treatment changed as a consequence of this? Like, are you having to... So what would you typically do? Like, in terms of the programme, you'd... Well, I mean, I've been through it, so...
I mean, with you, it was largely telling you to stop.
Yeah. But I'm
like,
probably
please pace yourself.
Yeah, I'm probably atypical, I'd suggest.
It's really funny because you get quite extremes. You get people that are very much, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I really can't. Oh, I'm so exhausted. And then you get people that are like, yeah, I've done this and I cycled there and I did that and then I played this for 15 hours. I wonder why I'm tired.
Yeah.
You do tend to get, the opposite ends of the spectrum. But in terms of treatment, even though I'm seeing a lot less breathlessness, I'm doing a lot more breath work. because I find that has such a calming effect on the body. So there's a great breathing app that I'm using with my cohorts now that it's called Breathing Zone, if anybody wants to download it. It's all about sort of calming yourself, grounding yourself, coming back into your body and sort of calming any inflammation by trying to get your cortisol and all your stress markers down. Because even if you don't feel stressed per se, your body has been under stress, which is why it now has this inflammation. So I'm doing a lot more of that sort of stuff.
And do you get, like, I think my biggest frustration with long COVID is even now, people still don't believe that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you find a lot of the people you're working with are having that struggle?
A lot of the people that I'm working with struggle with that from their GPs, let alone the general public. And there's a lot of, oh, well, this is just it for you now. A lot of people don't seem to want to help and to make it any better, which I find shocking. I mean, the expense that must create in the NHS is bonkers.
Well, it's not even that. It's just quality of life.
Yeah,
it's
completely. It's all encompassing. You know, as much as what's happening to you physically, what about your mental health?
And I think, like, even now though, I'd love there to be some kind of cure. Because all you can do is help people manage the symptoms.
Yeah.
Which is still quite frustrating as someone who has it. To have to drag yourself up on the days that you should be lying in bed, and some days you've got to just say, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I am getting a bit better at that.
Well done.
So is that not frustrating for you though, that all you can do is give them the tools to help a little bit, but knowing that they're still going to be struggling?
It is frustrating because I want everybody to have as much life as they can have, because you got to get out and live it. You know, you've only got one and you're here for such a short time. But then it's not frustrating because I genuinely care and I really, really try my best to help as much as I can. So I don't feel frustrated in the sense that I really feel like I give each person my all.
I think what the difference between you and all the other people I saw is that you try to look at it from my point of view, which happened to be quite similar to your point of view probably. But you were the first person that got me and understood that I can't accept this.
Yeah.
I can't. This isn't the life I want. And then help me put some stuff in place so that I could rebuild. And I think that's probably where your strength is, in that I guess it was empathetic. And to be honest, what did I actually learn that I didn't already know? Probably not loads. Some stuff around protein. I now eat a lot more protein. But in terms of, it was just someone there that raised awareness to the things that I wasn't doing anymore. And I think the weekly check-in was really helpful because it kept you motivated. I found it quite hard when it stopped, actually, because then it was like, well, I've got to motivate myself now.
Yeah, they could almost... The programme is 12 weeks, but there could almost be an additional 12 weeks where you just get a monthly check-in 3 times just to make sure that you're on course, kind of thing. I think I've heard, so I'm in week 4 of a new cohort, and somebody said to me on Monday, you know, it's really motivating me just to have this call, just to check in, having some accountability. I know exactly what I need to do. And I just, you know, my stuff just drops off the list of things to do. Like I was saying at the beginning, I'm 8th on the list.
Yeah.
You know, we're all guilty of that at times, but it's having your own champion to go, well, hang on, what about you? Maybe I need to do that for me.
Yeah. You need to your own course.
Yeah.
Just checking
Somebody
in with
get
myself.
Me on a course somewhere.
So, Laurie.
The kind of course I fancy doing involves like 2 weeks in the Peloponnese or something.
Yeah. I'm in. Yeah. And so what's next for you? Because I can't imagine you sitting still for long.
So I've had probably the worst 9 to 10 months of my life.
And why is
Just
that?
this last 10 months. Loads of stuff happening. So my absolute very best friend is 42, same age as me, and is battling cancer. We found out December 20th, so that was pretty rocky. My grandma, who raised me, passed away in February. and my car was broken, actually. The family car was broken, and it seems like such a small thing, but it meant that Tim wasn't there with me at the funeral, so I stood up and did my reading all alone, essentially. You know, I was the only family that did a reading, and that was really hard. And one of my kids really, really struggles with their mental health, and we have had a really, really hard 10 months. So the Cardiff Half Marathon is my way of processing that, I suppose, because I'm running it to raise money for Young Minds.
Oh, really? That's great.
And I'm doing it in a weight vest.
Oh, obviously, of course you are.
Obviously. So I'm going to run with an additional 10% of my body weight to represent the weight, the burden, the heaviness that you feel when, you know, you're depressed, or you've got, you know, anxiety, or whatever your mental health diagnosis is. So that's the next thing.
And is it more difficult, because like in your day job, you're giving people this wonderful advice all the time, but when it's one of your own kids, how's that? Because like what's that? How does that relationship differ?
They were so ill they couldn't listen.
Okay.
They were, yeah, it was a battle just to keep them alive.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think even if I tried to give advice, they were not in a situation to receive anything when it was at its worst. So what do you
do as a parent in that case? Because I've been fortunate enough to ever have to do it.
You just get up each day and love them as hard as you can, and lock away all the medicines and shops.
God, that's hard. Did you ever get to the point where I'm really scared that you're going to do something?
I knew which picture would be on her funeral leaflet.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do you stop yourself going absolutely mad in that?
You run and consume an unhealthy amount of sport.
Not to the obsessive point.
No, that sounds really flippant, but for me, moving is very much my mental health. Whether it be walking, whether it be running. On the days I was too exhausted to run, I'd walk. On the days where I just had so much rage I could have torn down a wall, I'd go an Olympic lift and throw some massive bar above my head.
And so you experience rage as a consequence of...
Yeah, I mean, every emotion that you can possibly imagine, because you're raging because you think, why me? Why them? This is unjust. Why us? And then you're terrified. And every day you're also happy, because when you get to the end of the day, you're like, whew, that was one more day. And it's everything. You feel absolutely everything to the nth degree.
It's like when we talked about being content, though, right at the start. This doesn't sound like a content period. It sounds like a 2 or 3 or a minus number. You
got to make the best of what you can.
And how do you do that, though? How?
It's hard, and you do lose yourself, and it is tough, but you focus in on the things that you love. You know, I might have eaten more tiramisu than normal. Or, you know, just... when it is sunny, sit outside and close your eyes and actually really feel that. Feel it. Like, feel the warmth.
And did you have the self-awareness during all this shit to know that that's what you had to do?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty clever.
Yeah, well, this is why I have this fabulous crochet cardi, because I sit there and make myself wonderful things. Yeah. Because I'm quite fidgety. I like to move a lot. I'm like, you know, quite frenetic, you know. So the running really helps with that. But if you're sitting there crocheting, you're moving and you're counting, and it's almost, because it's so methodical, it's almost like meditation.
Meditation for the fidgeters is what it is, isn't it?
It is. Basically, I think I'm autistic, or I've got ADHD and it's my stim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you found it. So that's pretty incredible, though, that you've got that self-awareness. Have you always had that level of self-awareness?
No.
So how did you get that?
I suppose years of reading and learning and self-reflection. You can just start self-reflecting. If you start doing it, then you just naturally do it. Do you know what I mean? You just need to go one day, you know, say, I don't know, you've had a big blow up with your partner. Instead of going, rah, I have all the feels, you can sit back and go, now I wonder why, oh, that was happening, wasn't it? So maybe that, so then this, so that, and just work out the chain of events.
So you've kind of taught yourself to go, right, let's stop, take a breath before I go in for this big row.
Stop, arm yourself properly,
Yes, gather all
and go in
weapons.
with notes. No, but I think it does, reflection, I think, is a good thing. I think it allows me to be better at my job, because when people say, well, this, and this, I can say, okay, what I'm hearing is that. Is that right? I can completely see where you're coming from. What do we need to do? What's going to make you happiest? So that reflective approach is how I try to do everything. So my youngest two, I believe, are autistic, and so we are seeking diagnosis at the moment. My eldest child is autistic as well, and it really helps when my youngest lad is having a meltdown. It really helps to step back and say, I think that this is a meltdown, not a tantrum, and I can see that this has happened, which could be really triggering, therefore I'm going to do that. And he calms down much quicker. If you just try to discipline him as if he were a naughty child having a tantrum, you get nowhere. You make it 10 times worse.
Yeah. And so with just going back to your daughter and her mental health, what brought her out of that? Like,
I don't know if she even is, really. She's better, but I don't know if you're ever fully better. I'm not sure. No, it does ease, and you've just got to be hyper aware and reflective. You've got to think, right, what's happening today? How is she presenting today? You read the room.
And that's the emotional exhaustion that you were talking about, which is...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how do you switch off from that, though?
I don't know. If you have the answer to that, that would
Yeah.
be awesome.
Preferably at 3 o'clock in the morning when it...
Jeez, yeah. Running.
Yeah.
I do a lot of brain dumping. I do a lot of processing what's going on in my head. When I'm physically moving, I feel like I mentally move as well.
I like that. And you physically move, you mentally move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with that. I do a lot better processing if I'm on a bike ride or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I also come up with good ideas.
There you go. And so my rule to keep me interested is I don't run the exact same route twice.
Okay.
So there will be portions that are identical, because there's only 2 roads out to Parkgate.
Both hilly.
Both hilly. You start with your hill and then you get to cruise downhill on the way home. You put on a really good song and you just peg it down the hill and you're like, yeah, I'm Usain Bolt. End on a high. But no, my rule to keep it interesting, to keep me interested, is to do a different route. So sometimes I get completely lost, or sometimes, I vaguely know where I am. But like you say, you get your best ideas. Or we have a timber window company. I might stumble upon this this amazing massive house and think they need new windows. It just really is a break. It's a chance to process things, or it's a chance to think other things.
Yeah.
Because having kids is relentless anyway. Having to think of what's for dinner every single bloody day. That's hard going, that is.
It's better when you get older. You just eat cheese and wine quite a bit. Don't have to worry about the kids.
Do you have the cheese on toast, or
no, just
cheese?
Yeah, cheese and a salad to begin with. So you've eaten something healthy, and then let's have some cheese and wine.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, that was last night and maybe the night before.
So how's that protein intake then?
I've done that earlier in the day. Get that out of the way. I do protein shakes now, though. I've succumbed.
Really?
I do. It's just a quick 30-gram hit. I struggle otherwise to hit the 100.
Have you become that person?
I have. Just because I can, you can only eat so many eggs. You can only eat so much chicken. And it's really hard to hit 100 every day. So,
do you not just snack on chicken? Sainsbury's do a chicken pakoras on their Indian side dish. Snack on that, trust me. Dipped in some tzatziki. You heard it here first, folks.
I've always got some good protein snack tips. But no, I don't. I eat 3 meals a day pretty much, and And that is hard to get your 100 grams in. So a protein shake just takes me over with
like
spinach and
off.
fruit and
Yeah.
banana, and so it's like getting some of my vitamins in as well in one hit. I have become that person. I'm ashamed to say, but I am. I used to resist and resist. Now I'm like, it's easy. Take the easy route. I digress. So what, in terms of you, what if I said, who are you? What would you say first?
Oh, who am I? I don't know, I'm just me. A little bit mad. Game for anything. And fairly colourful and jolly. I'd say I'm pretty strong. I'm just me.
Would you say you're a positive person? The glass is half full?
Yeah.
Half full, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm half full. Because, I'm having an awful time. One of our kids is really not feeling good. Better now, but for a time wasn't good. But hey, my best mate's got cancer. So I'm not doing that bad, am I?
And so what keeps that optimism during this shit?
Do you ever remember Saturday night and Sunday morning, that kitchen sink drama?
No.
There's a really famous quote in it. I don't know if you're allowed to swear in your podcast.
You're very welcome to.
Don't let the bastards grind you down. Because I think it's part of the political thing in South Wales. You just don't let it grind you down. Why? Why give them your light? It's your light. You choose who you give it to. You don't have it taken by the unworthy.
But some of those people are worthy that you're giving it to.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, if I choose to give all my light to my kids if they need, but it means I don't have to sweat the other stuff. I'm not giving away the other bits of me to the undeserving. Or
I quite like describing the light, actually. That's almost like the energy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'm just obsessed with energy now because I don't have much of it. But
Einstein proved that it never dies. It just gets transferred.
Certainly by 4:00.
He never had long COVID.
But I like that idea of, like, it's a gift, your light. And what is your light?
In what sense? What is my light? My light is me. It's the essence of me.
Yeah. Because I'd say I like the analogy of your light being your energy, but that's because that's what's important to me. Whereas for you, it's more than that. It's bigger.
Yeah.
It's your love. It's your
absolutely.
connections.
So so my eldest is diagnosed with autism, and on that journey, I very much thought, oh God, that explains so much about me.
Yeah.
And when we went for the debrief, when the diagnosis had come in, the person doing the debrief of the report actually leaned over and grabbed my forearm and went, just so you know, an adult diagnosis is taking about 2 years now. I thought, well, you've just given it to me. I don't need one now, do I? Just saved me 2 years. Cheers. But because of that, I think it makes me quite determined or quite stubborn or quite black and white sometimes. But I think it also gives me like an empathy, because you can think your way around things. But I forget why I'm making this point.
It's about what is your light.
So that is my light. So I give my love to the deserving freely, willingly and happily. But I rarely let people in. If I've let you in, if you're in the club, that's high praise.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd you get in?
You're in. I'm sitting here. I don't waste my light on people that don't fill up my cup, because they got to give me some of their light to top up the bits I'm giving away.
Oh, I like that. And that's connection.
Yeah. You've got to feed me if I'm feeding you.
Yeah. So, because you get like the Hoovers and I can only think of the vampires, which are the same as the Hoovers.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's an exchange of light here.
Completely. So, when our child was going through that mega torment, they can have every single piece of me if they need. But now they don't need so much of me. I'm just going to quietly go do a half marathon, fill up my cup, and then I'll be back. You know what I mean? It's a constant energy is evolving. It's like the Northern Lights,
Oh, I love that. Yeah. And I love the way that you can get other people's energy, because you can. Like, if you
Yeah.
have a really good laugh with someone and you come away feeling energised.
Yeah.
So, we talk about, like, what top 3 bits. And I don't, like, I guess just for you in life, if you could give some advice about how we can be better as society, as a community, kinder, what would they be?
Again, with the swearing, just don't be a knobhead. Do you know what I mean? If somebody's over there, if, you know, somebody that was born a male has decided, or not decided, they know that they are not male. What the hell kind of business is it of yours? Just let them be. Just, everybody, let's just let each other be. And when we're content, that word again, with ourselves and our stuff, and we're just leaving everyone alone, that means our energy and our light is full and happy, and we can then come together, can't we? Because we're all feeling good. We're all going to share the good stuff. Like, I mean, it's just not very interesting, is it? Knowing about somebody's... I mean, who cares about your sexuality or your religion or whatever? Great, you do you. Do you know, I think the key thing to life is just don't be a knobhead.
We'll definitely have that as one. It's in.
I think look after you, because you can't do anything if you don't look after you. Again, with the energy, keep it topped up. What makes your heart sing?
Yeah, I love that one. Self-kindness, definitely, that's in.
3, holidays in hot countries, man.
Is that why you married a Kiwi? It's not always that hot
It's
there,
not
actually.
hot there. He ripped me off. The first time I went to New Zealand, it was 32 degrees in Heathrow, and I got off the plane, it was 3 degrees. I was like, what? It's New Zealand, it's hot, isn't it? No, but I mean, travel and experience things. Be in the hot countries, do the thing. If something scares you, you should probably do it.
Why?
Because it's going to change you some way, probably for the better. That's why you're scared.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't even watch scary TV programmes anymore.
But
Like,
I don't
why?
necessarily mean like that. But like I had an 18-month-old and I was 6 months pregnant, and we basically stuck a pin in a map and went, let's just move there. You know, it's scary, but hey, it'll work out. Because if you're just minding your business, don't be an knobhead, then it'll work out.
So proactively scare yourself? Is that what you're having? As
No, it's don't be scared to live.
I quite like, don't be scared to take the opportunities.
Yes.
Because I think sometimes opportunities come your way and you're like, oh, I can't do that, that's too risky. But actually...
I think as mothers we do that a lot because we've got so many responsibilities. Still, even more so than the dads, or, you know, it's still, there has been lots of progress, but it still falls so much more to the mum. And so over those years, you tend to put yourself on the back burner. Take the opportunities. Even if it scares you, do it.
Yeah, I like that. And in terms of kindness, any final thoughts?
I like to do little kindness bombs every day.
What's a kindness bomb?
Well, you know, like, if you see somebody and you think, oh my God, their sunglasses are fab, tell them. Just tell them. If somebody, you know, if somebody's looking quite upset on the street, why wouldn't you stop and say, you okay, can I help? Are you good? You know, why not tell people if they've done something really lovely for you? Say, oh, you know, I really appreciate that. Thank you. That was really thoughtful. Why not be more open with our love and our kindness?
I like that. A kindness bomb every day. What happens if it gets to 11 p.m. and you've not managed to find one?
You've got to turn to your partner and go, you've done really well not being strangled by me today. Well done.
You're my last resort.
I really like that you managed to eat your dinner with your mouth shut tonight. Thanks.
Thanks for loading the dishwasher.
But, you know, it's the same when I'm saying, like, reflect on yourself. When, you know, say when you're dealing with the kids, like when my youngest appears to be having a tantrum, but it's actually a meltdown. Reflect on it, you know, and say, I really appreciate that you tried to do that. Not like, why haven't you done it? What's wrong? Kind of, I really appreciate that you've tried your best.
So that's almost like making your language kinder, isn't it?
Yep. To yourself as well.
Yeah, I like that. Because sometimes you can I'm not saying you ever can come across as harsher than you probably need to be. So actually just be careful with your language a little bit. And
Oh, I'm very good at being blunt. So.
yeah.
No, I am very good at being blunt. And I'm not saying you've always got to be lovely and huggy and wonderful and use positive language, but it does make your life better. It'll make your life better to speak to other people that way, because you will receive better energy.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Even if it is the woman from British Gas when you are trying to resolve an issue that's been ongoing for 6 months.
The phrase you need for that one is, can I escalate this, please? Can I escalate this, please? Just on repeat.
Or EasyJet when they're refusing to pay the compensation after cancelling your flight.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how you would use positive language for that one. Thank you for trying your hardest when this is clearly above your wage bracket.
Yeah. I'm going to try that because that's tomorrow's phone call.
Oh, gosh. Well, best of luck.
I'll let you know how it goes. Well, thank you very much. I loved that. Good to get to know you better. It's such a treat to have an hour with someone where I can ask anything I want. So, when else in life can you do that?
Well, indeed. Thank you for having me.
Oh, dear.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Curious Chats and Kind Acts. It was lovely to have you. Can I just say a massive thank you to all the people that we've interviewed who have been so honest and vulnerable with me, so that we can have these real life stories to share with you, our wonderful listener. And remember, we'd love to hear what random or small acts of kindness you've been up to, so that we can maybe do a few. Find us on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our /ActsGB, that's ACTSGB. And drop a comment on our feed, tweet us, or even send a photo. Let's build our kindness community together. We'll read some of our favourites on future episodes of Curious Chats and Kind Acts. And you never know, we might even have a go at a few of your ideas ourselves. Watch this space on the socials. For more information about the Acts charity, including how to donate to us, head to actsonline.uk. See you next time!